Yo, what's good, my people? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're diving into the most chaotic, confusing, and cracked anime lists on the internet. I'm reacting to CBR's top 10 most cracked anime characters. And oh boy, this list not make sense, but let's get into it. Starting with number 10, Sailor Moon. Well, I haven't watched Sailor Moon, so I'm not going to fake it, but from what I'm seeing here, she becomes cracked only when certain conditions are met. Like when the stakes are high or when she's holding the silver crystal. So the question is, are you even really cracked if you need a perfect stone or crystal to be cracked? But Charlie, let's get going. Number 9 is Grammy. Oh boy, I have a lot to say about this. So seeing Grammy's imagination evolve, you realize this guy is actually wild. He can literally imagine your bones as soft cookies and boom, they are. His power is definitely cracked. But in the context of the anime, it doesn't feel cracked because of how he was beaten. He lost because of someone's willpower. That defeats the whole purpose of having the power of imagination. Like bro, you could literally imagine the person is dead and they would be dead. They shouldn't be able to change that. Such a power is supposed to be absolute. So the fact that he lost due to willpower either means he has really bad imagination because he wasn't imagining the right things, or that the power itself isn't actually cracked. Either way, the way the show handled this completely diminished the actual potential of the anime in my opinion. So yeah, potential wise it is cracked, but the character in the show didn't make it cracked. That's on writing, because how the hell does willpower defeat the power of imagination? This isn't a cracked power list, it's a cracked character list. Moving on, number 8, Light Yagami from Death Note. This one, Light is smart, yes, but CBR claiming L wasn't smart enough, that's a complete lie. L had no powers, Light had a Death Note, but L still figured out most of the mystery. And that alone makes him more cracked mentally, in my opinion. Now here's the thing. In the CBR list, they weren't even talking about the Death Note itself being cracked. They were talking about Light being cracked, his intelligence. But as I said, someone who lives in a world with no powers was able to deduce this much about you. In terms of raw smartness, L definitely is ahead, in my opinion. The Death Note's power is cracked, especially when you add the Shinigami eyes. But Light himself isn't smarter than L. And since this is supposed to be a list of cracked characters, I don't fully understand why Light is on it. Unless they're talking about cracked relative to the people he was going up against. If that's the case, then maybe it does make sense. But if we are just talking about intelligence alone, I'll take L ahead of him any day. Now, if it's just a combination of having a Death Note and intelligence, then yes, Light takes it. But then again, imagine if L had a Death Note. Well, I know he wouldn't do anything, but if he was a villain, no one is catching that guy. And that gives me an idea for a new list, top 10 smartest characters list. Let me know what you think about that list.
Big victory! That's right! I win!
Moving on to number 7, All For One from My Hero Academia. All For One has all the quirks, can steal yours, give them to his people, man's like a power bank with Wi-Fi. But here's the thing, you can't be the most cracked if you lost to a man with one quirk. Now, I do understand that in the context of the anime, One For All is supposed to be just one quirk. But by the end of the season, they ended up making it multiple quirks, which kind of defeats the whole purpose. Then again, the name is All For One, not One For One, so I guess it still fits. But still, to defeat someone who has all the power, you made someone else who also ends up with lots of powers fight him. That move kind of made the whole thing lose its original edge. What made All Might so lovable was the fact that he was beating people like this with just one quirk and willpower. That simplicity made his strength feel more meaningful. But now that his successor, Midoriya, has a One For All power and ends up with multiple quirks, it starts to feel a little meh. You understand? But yeah, in the context of the anime, All For One is cracked. But if we're talking about all anime characters across board, I don't really think characters like this should be on the list, especially not this high up. Anyway, we move on.
United States of Smash! Goodbye, One For All.
Number 6 is Dio from Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. Yes, Jojo, one of my favorite animes. Dio's time stop is impressive. But let's be honest, in his own universe, there are at least 3 other characters more cracked. From Diavolo to Giorno and Pucci, and these are just the anime. And the reason I'm even putting characters like Diavolo and the rest ahead of him is simple. In the universe of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, everybody has a high IQ. The characters aren't just strong, they are smart. But while Dio's power is cool, everybody in that world understands it. You can't explain it. That puts him below those other 3. Now let's be real, can anyone realistically explain Golden Wind Requiem? or Diavolo's Ken Crimson, or Poochie's Made in Heaven without sounding like an idiot? Exactly. The fact that you can't even fully explain their powers just shows how far beyond cracked they are compared to Dio. To be honest, I just think people are just attached to his aura, not his actual power. Because in terms of aura, it does defeat the other three. Now we move on to number 5, Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan. So we're using Eren's final form from what I'm seeing here. Founding Titan, apocalyptic rambling and all. And yeah, he caused world-ending chaos. But again, if you are talking cracked, why do you lose to some humans with ODM gear and swords? Like, make it make sense. You can't be world-ending and still get folded by Mikasa and friends. Like, seriously? I'm sorry, I just can't agree with this. Moving on, Mana from Food Wars, number 4. Now this one got me spinning. Her tongue is so advanced she can't even enjoy food anymore. In the Food Wars context, I get it, she's cracked. But the fact that someone like her is on this list just shows that these people are making a list of characters relative to their own universe, which they should have mentioned from the beginning. Instead, they gave us the generalized top 10 most cracked anime characters, which now just feels like a clickbait kind of list. But yeah, in the context of Food War, she is definitely cracked. No argument there. But I don't understand why you keep bringing up characters who are considered cracked, yet are beaten by other characters in their shows, and they not including those characters who beat them. Do you understand? Because they didn't say top 10 cracked powers, they said cracked characters, and that is where my issue lies. Anyway, we move. Number 3, Gojo from JJK. Finally, someone I can agree with. Mr. Infinity here. Even the author couldn't deal with how broken he was. Imagine hating your own creation because it's just too perfect. From domain expansions to walking through rain like it's beneath him, Gojo defines cracked and aura bound. You can't hit him, you can't explain his powers, he deserves top 3. No debate. And as I keep saying, if you can't explain the power, it's definitely cracked. Number 2, Sang Jin Woo from Solo Leveling. Mr. Aura himself. Solo Leveling is literally about this man clearing the whole universe by himself. Even if we only go by the anime, he is summoning armies, soloing dungeons, aura farming everybody just off presence alone. He definitely deserves to be on such a list. Top 10, absolutely. Maybe even number 1 depending on the context you're looking for. In terms of aura farmers like Piccolo, he seems to have taken the cake now. Everybody thinks he's the biggest aura farmer in anime. And that gives me another idea. What do you think of a top 10 aura farmers list? Put it down in the comments if you think it's a good idea. Now moving on, number 1 is Simon from Gurren Lagann. To be honest, I haven't watched this anime fully, but I've read the madness. Man's piloting a mech larger than the observable universe. Like, how does that even make sense? What are we even doing here anymore? It's outrageous, it's illogical, and for that reason alone, I can agree. It's cracked beyond comprehension. Now look, after reading this whole list, I went to the comment section, and one of the top comments said it best. A cracked anime character is one who just breaks all sense of fairness. Now think about this. Someone saying, you think death is enough to kill me? That's peak cracked energy. And that character wasn't even on the list. Where is Rudy Gold? Where is Saitama? Where is I Am Atomic? You know, this list as usual is very, very sus. By CBR, we expected chaos and they delivered. So what do you think? Who is your most cracked anime character of all time? Did CBR get anything right? Should I make my own list? Or maybe you want me to react to your favorite anime next? Drop it in the comments, like the video, and subscribe for more unfiltered anime madness. Until next time, stay blessed, stay hyped, and keep it sensational.